If you look close enough at World War II, you'll notice something the official histories don't quite spell out. Some of the most effective survival tactics never made it into training manuals, not because they were wrong, but because they worked a little too well. These were the tricks that could keep you alive when everything else failed. Practices passed quietly between soldiers, not to be discussed, and definitely not to be shared with anyone outside the tightest circles. Now, before we go any deeper, hit that subscribe button for Pass to Survive if you're the kind of person who cares about what really kept men alive when the textbooks and the training failed. What follows isn't recycled trivia. It's the stuff that got quietly discouraged, not out of fear, but out of control. Because the moment everyone knows a trick, it stops being a secret, and the enemy adapts. So let's get into it. By 1942, it was obvious to any soldier with a pulse open fire after dark didn't just mean warmth, it meant death. A single flicker or a curl of smoke was all it took to draw artillery or patrols straight to your position. So, real veterans ditched the fire and focused on conserving body heat. I'm talking about sleeping so close you could hear each other's teeth chatter, using bodies instead of blankets, and, here's the kicker, treating the ground as the real enemy. Frozen earth drains heat faster than cold air does. So they'd pile pine branches, dry grass, even spare gear underneath, not just over themselves. That's still true today. What's under you often matters more than what's on top. Food was another battlefield. Old hands learned that wolfing down rations meant hunger came back quick, and energy crashed hard. Chewing slowly not only kept them warm through digestion, but made every calorie count. Surviving on half rations wasn't just about eating less, it was about eating smarter. Even now, if you're stranded somewhere, slow it down. Make the little you have stretch further, and keep your wits about you. Camouflage? Forget just the face paint. The real art was in breaking the rules of what the human eye expects. Never lie along a straight line. Ditch the ridges, tree lines, and paths. Position yourself in the odd spots, the places where nobody's looking for a person. Human vision hunts for patterns, so break the pattern. Even today, that's the best way to vanish when it counts. Water discipline was another quiet rule. Guzzling cold water right after a sprint? Big mistake. It could mean cramps, vomiting, even shock. The smart ones rinsed their mouths, sipped, waited, then sipped again. It kept them hydrated and avoided the worst. Same deal now, after hard work. Control your intake. Rushing it only leads to trouble. Now here's a weird one. Cigarette smoke. Not to relax, but to disrupt scent trails and confuse tracking dogs. Not something I'd recommend today, but the principle holds. Scent control can buy you time if someone's on your trail. Some carried soil in their pockets. Not a superstition. Dirt was packed into wounds to slow bleeding and to hide scent from dogs. Not sterile, but sometimes it was the difference between bleeding out and making it to help. The lesson? When it's life or death, stopping the bleed comes first, even if the conditions aren't perfect. Silence wasn't just ordered, it was trained. Hand signals, routines, and timing replace talking. The fewer things you need to say, the less you risk being heard or making a mistake. In high-stress survival, preparation means you don't have to think, you just react. Even sleep was tactical. Short, controlled naps beat deep sleep. That way, you're never caught off guard. Still used in endurance training today, rest is a tool, not a luxury, when survival's on the line. These weren't tricks for the books. They were hard-won habits, often kept secret because once everyone knows, the edge is gone. If you value real survival history, subscribe to Pass to Survive, and share this with someone who knows World War II wasn't just battles and bombs. It was about discipline, adaptation, and surviving the impossible. These lessons are still out there, waiting for anyone willing to learn.